Watch this video if you need a creative change. You wake up every day frustrated that you aren't living up to your dreams. You want to try a new path, but the grind of daily life is wearing you down. The world is tough, especially right now, and you can't find the inspiration to do what you really want. What you really want to do, and maybe what you've always wanted to do, is to make your own film. Maybe it's a feature, maybe it's a short or a documentary, it could be a music video, it could be an experimental film, maybe you just have an incredible visual idea lodged in your subconscious that you cannot escape from no matter what you do. We all feel like this at times. It's 2020, the world is in trouble, but more than ever we need you. We need your ideas, your inspiration, your stories, most especially your films. If your voice hasn't been represented on screen, then we need to hear from you even more. We can't let the technical barriers, negativity, or self-doubt stop us from following our dreams. I believe that for myself, and I believe it for you. Film is a storytelling medium. If you're here, it's because you have a story to tell. When I was 14, I made a horrible short film, but people seem to like it, and at that age, all you need is a little encouragement to give something a shot. I actually think it's because I started at that age that I haven't gotten jaded. I never wanted to progress too quickly. In life right now, with social media and the internet, it's so easy for us to compare ourselves to other people and to discourage ourselves from doing the things that we want. But making films is a creative process, so we have to be patient, and we also have to get going. Obviously, there are so many ways we can go in talking about how to make a film, but I want to make two assumptions. The first one is you aren't rich and don't have famous friends. Filmmaking is expensive, but it's possible to raise money and also develop simple ideas that can be executed with your own money. Number two, you don't work in the film or TV industry. If you do, feel free to hang around because we all need the creative help, but this is targeted towards people who are getting started out as filmmakers. This means you don't have easy access to equipment or folks to work on your project. Maybe you haven't even written a script or stepped behind a camera. Even though I've been making films for a long time, I've always done it somewhat my own way. That said, everything in this video is just what has worked for me, and anything that works better for you, use it, of course. But what I want to offer is a little motivation and a basic outline of a plan to get started on bringing your own project to life. If you're asking who am I to be talking about this, that is very legit. So I've written, directed, and produced a narrative feature that's in post-production called Bad Animal. I've also been running my own company, making films, commercials, music videos for about a decade. Some of these have gone on to win awards, but if I'm being honest, a lot has languished in my own corner of the internet, and I'm okay with it because I enjoy the process. That's what I'm hoping to help you discover within yourself. You can probably see from my little stick figure animations that I'm also working on something new. And I've been developing an illustration habit to help communicate some of these ideas in these videos. So even though it's a little rough, hopefully it will be better as we go along. Regardless of the format, I think the most important thing is to break your ideas down into a workable plan with tangible to-dos and just getting your project started, which is kind of the hardest part, and it's also the most important. So let's start at the top. Develop your idea. Notice that this isn't come up with an amazing idea because no one starts there. You need to make a commitment to putting yourself in the seat to do the work, even if it doesn't give you immediate results. So take the concept you're kicking around and start writing about it. Put on some music, grab the coffee, turn off your phone. This is a brainstorm. Take notes. Try to start small. Think through your idea from start to finish. If it's a documentary, you may not know exactly where you're going, but you can at least frame the outline of it. If it's a narrative film, try to get the entirety of the story idea out of your head on paper, even if it's nonsensical. If it's a music video, sketch out the visuals in the order that they take place. If this is going to be a DIY film, you need to keep the elements constrained and basic. You want to focus on emotion and connection. Think about the low budget films and projects, stuff that you see out there that you think, I wish that I did that. The end goal here is a basic outline of your idea. Revisit it daily, develop it, hone in on it. Focus on something that can connect with a specific audience. Lean into who you are. If you grew up on a farm and you know better than anybody, use that. Maybe you've overcome great adversity just to get where you're at. We all have experiences that are unique but relatable, and these are the best ideas for a storytelling medium. For narrative film, especially feature films, the idea has to be large enough to carry a strong story, like all the way from the beginning to the end, which is a lot to start with. But really, when you begin, you just need a kernel of an idea. After a few weeks working at this daily, or at least a few times a week, you should have a basic outline of the idea. Step 2, build a community. You think you're the only person with this idea? No. Filmmaking is a collaborative medium. You just have to accept it. It's never easy to put yourself out there, that's true, but also this doesn't have to be a huge group. And really, you should try and find people who have different backgrounds and experiences than you. Just 1 or 2 people can help set the foundation for the project. It's obviously easier if you live in a big metro area or a city, but productions are happening everywhere these days. Try to network with anyone who's making videos or films in your area, just assisting on projects if you can afford it, building relationships. Like, this is really important. I can promise you that nobody gets into this career aspiring to make corporate videos and interviews. That's coming from someone who's filmed a lot. I can say anyone who works in a creative field has been bitten by the same bug as you. You want to find these people and sort of collaborate with them and build a community. Write your script. While you're building on that idea and meeting people to help you on your film, you really need to start writing. If this is your first filmmaking project, then I'd recommend staying very simple, keeping it short, getting some experience under your belt. I'm going to go deeper in certain types of writing and projects in other videos, but there are a ton of great resources out there already. Primarily, I'd say read as many scripts in your format as possible. Read books about writing. Learn the basics of storytelling, the fundamentals of character and action, or just read stuff on Wikipedia, to be honest. Look up things online with Google. Honestly, anything is better than social media, which is a waste of time. Your idea might start to fall apart at this point, and that's okay. Everybody starts here, even people highly successful in making creative work. Once you have a script, set it aside for at least a few weeks. Then come back and continue the work. Deadlines. Maybe this should be the second step, but really it's better to be a bit overwhelmed before we bring it into focus. Also, you probably now have a sense of the scope of your project. If it's a short film or a music video, try to make it in a few months or weeks. If it's a larger project, maybe you could plan to spend a year or more on it. Some documentaries can take even longer, but I'd say start small and work your way up. Use your iPhone. You can edit the videos on almost any computer or even probably on your phone. Yes, this is going to take a long time and it won't happen overnight, but the great thing is you can be working on your project while you're working on other people's, maybe helping them and kind of collaborating together to keep building that community. You're probably starting to see that this video won't be exactly explaining how to make a film from start to finish, but the goal is to inspire you to get started, to get your brain moving in the direction of creativity. Break your project down into parts. Consider that in filmmaking, there are usually 3 stages: pre-production, production, and post-production. We're in pre-production right now, building your idea and putting all the pieces together. In pre-production, you will write, break down, budget, fundraise, cast, bring together your team. In production, you'll mostly be spending long days filming and begging for favors. It's not as fun as it sounds. Here you'll be hiring a crew and gear, calling in everything you can to get the job done. During post-production, you'll be finishing your film and getting it ready for the world. This is a slog, no doubt about it. This includes editing, sound mixing, color correction, titles, film festivals, submissions, and distribution. It's a long list, and that's not even remotely all of it. Really, what we're talking about here is just the first steps into building a new creative life for yourself. It's not going to happen quickly, so you have to enjoy the journey. We all do, and coming to terms with that is not easy, but it's important. That's all we have time for today, and I hope that this can get you started. I realize I haven't maybe fully lived up to the title of the video, but I'm hoping to continue this in a series. So, of course, please subscribe, drop a comment, and let me know what would be helpful if you want to learn more. Always remember that your creative voice is important. There's room for it, and there are people out there who need to hear your story. Thanks for watching.